Hey, it's Dina. Oh, excuse me. Can I talk? My cold. Hey, it's Dina. I wanted to make a quick video today about fears. And we've been talking about that in our training and on our team page a lot in the past couple weeks. And I've had some individual conversations about that too. So I thought I would just make a quick video of my own and talk about some of my fears, both before I started coaching and since I jumped in, and just share a little bit about how, I was afraid, I am still afraid of things, but how, pushing through and just doing those things anyway is what really is important and what really helps you grow. And I was thinking back to one of the last trainings I did where we had a little homework assignment to list all of our fears, write them down on paper, and then we had to destroy them, whether it was just to rip them up or set them on fire, whatever you could do to destroy those fears we did. And so I made the list then, and I made it again now, just to kind of, think about if I still had the same ones, and a lot of them are still the same, but it's just kind of interesting to do that every once in a while, because what I found is that for a long time in my life, I thought that it made me weak to be afraid of things, but it's normal. And the more I read and dive into personal development, the more I find that to be true. Successful people aren't not afraid, they're just more afraid of what would happen in their lives if they didn't take chances and they didn't take risks and step outside their comfort zone. So anyway, I wrote down a list, and it filled up the front page and part of the back. And I thought I would just share some of them with you. So I looked into coaching for about a year before I finally jumped in and did it. And there were many things that held me back as I researched what it meant to be a coach. I was worried about being a salesperson. Like, I didn't think I would be a good salesperson, nor did I want to be. But one thing I found, and that you'll hear many coaches say, is that we're anything but salespeople. We want to share our stories and our experiences, and we don't want to sell a product to somebody and walk away. We're there to help people, and I'm working with tons of people who haven't bought a thing. It's more about helping people, and once you make it about that versus selling something, a product, Shakeology, a challenge pack, you will overcome some of that fear of sales. And as we say, facts sell and stories tell. So we want to share and we want to help. And when you do that, it really focuses on what's important and what's most rewarding about this. So I'm glad that I finally just jumped in and did it, because up until that, I still thought it was about sales. And it's been anything but that since. And the more successful coaches are the ones who don't make it about that. So that is a common one, but I just wanted to say that about sales and selling. I also, when I started as a coach, I wasn't already a transformation story. And I was worried about who would want to follow me, who would trust and believe what I was saying when I still had goals of my own to hit. And what I found was that people wanted to join me along the way. They wanted somebody they could relate to. They wanted to be part of all of it. They didn't want an expert on any particular program. They didn't want a nutrition expert. They didn't want a personal trainer. They just wanted somebody to kind of be a cheerleader. And that's what we are. We're basically cheerleaders. And just somebody that will support and encourage them along the way. And I'm still working on my goals, and it's been a year and a half later, but I consider myself to be a successful coach because I have learned and grew through knowing that I'm never really finished. I'm still in pursuit of those after pictures, but even then, I'll never be done. I'll never stop working out one day. I'll never stop bringing Shakeology one day. It's just a part of my life now. So once I realized that and accepted that, I really began to be more comfortable putting myself out there for one, and just seeing that people wanted to join me for that. So that's been exciting too. And then the next thing would be, as I got started more into it too, was the fear of rejection and getting said no to, and fear of inviting, and what am I going to say, and just tons of things running through your mind about, oh, like I said, I can't be a salesperson. I can't message somebody and say, hey, buy this from me. But there again, that's not what we do. We don't send somebody an email saying, hey, you should buy T25 for me. It's a great program, and lots of people have had good success on it, and it's 25 minutes a day, and you should just buy it and do it. No, we connect. We learn more about their lives, and a lot of times I find that even when it's somebody I know, it's even more important to dig deeper with them and find out what their fitness and health goals are, because just because you know them doesn't mean that you know what they want, what they're looking for, what their goals are. So it's more about connecting with people. And you'll find if you approach it that way, the rejection doesn't really happen. There's nobody sitting there saying, oh, you're terrible for even trying to connect with me, or anything like that. Most people are just, oh, thanks for reaching out to me, and I'm glad you messaged me. And it just, talking to people takes that part of it out, and it is really just about connecting and learning more about them. So even when you get to the point of an invite to a clean eating challenge or to a challenge group, if they do say no, it's a not right now. It's not the right time for some reason, and that has nothing to do with you. It's just where they're at in their lives. We're all busy. That's probably going to be the most common reason that you get from people, is that just they don't feel like they can invest the time into it. And I don't try to disagree with people when they say that. I just say, oh, I absolutely know where you're coming from. I've felt the same way. And, it's okay to just kind of leave those conversations and maybe follow up with them later and in a month or two, and just say, hey, I've been still thinking about you and wondering if your life has calmed down at all. If you wanted to try a challenge yet, we just make it light. And it, like I said, most people are just more appreciative that you've sent them, a message and tried to connect than anything else. So that's what I would have to say about rejection and, the fear of inviting and things like that. What else have I done? I've had a fear that I'm not good enough as a coach. I've compared myself to other coaches. I have had fears about how much this will cost me. Like, is this going to be too expensive to keep up with? Excuse me. I definitely had to stop comparing myself, because there are coaches of all shapes and sizes and ages. Sometimes I felt like, oh, I'm too old to be a coach. And, I had to let that go too, because there are plenty of people my age and, younger or older that have joined me in this too. So it's not about age, it's about who you connect with and who you attract, and, just finding people that have the same interests as you. That has nothing to do with age or how thin you are. So that was one thing that held me back, and I had to let go of, and I feel way better now that I've been able to do that. The expense part of it, I've thought of everything as an investment, because everything I do is either investing in myself or investing in somebody else. So I've loved giving prizes away. I've loved giving samples away of Shakeology, just because I'm so passionate about it, that if cost is a holdup for people, I'm willing to give them a couple samples for free just so they can try it. It's more rewarding for me for them to try something and maybe not like it than for them to buy it from me and not like it. So I've definitely found that it's not too expensive either. I've been worried about fitting it in, having enough time for it. And I've definitely had to do a lot of work on time management. That's something I still struggle with, and I still work really hard every month to be better at. So that's something always that I'm working on. I've had a fear of not finding enough people, running out of people to talk to. And I remember the first time I was told, go make a list of 100 people you know, and I freaked out. I'm like, there's no way I can come up with 100 people that I can talk to. And I think I came up with 150 that time. And I add people every day to my help list. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon because I'm connecting with people that I don't even know on my like page and on Instagram, and it's a lot of fun. So I am so not worried about not finding enough people or running out of people to talk to. And I'm from a very small area in rural North Dakota, and there's quite a few coaches in the same area, and I'm still not worried because I'm not relying on only community people and friends and family. You know, I'm like I said, I'm reaching people that I didn't know, or I'm reaching people from high school days that I've been able to reconnect with, and that's a lot of fun. So I find it more fun and rewarding finding new people than I spend worrying about finding enough anymore. So that was definitely a turn for the better. I have had a fear of being judged for what I post on social media, like being too positive and posting pictures of my transformation so far and things like that. You know, I could, in my head, I see people like, oh, here she goes again, or like being too positive. Like that annoys some people too. But I just came to a point one day where I'm like, I don't care. I am going to post what I want to post, and I'm going to be like everybody else treats Facebook. And you all know how many things you see that you wish you could unsee out on Facebook. So I hardly think that something that's too positive is going to ruin somebody's day. So I let go of that. I stopped worrying about what people thought. You know, that's probably one of the most common fears anybody has, is that they're worried about what others think, and it's just not what matters. And chances are people aren't really thinking that, and if they are, then that's their problem, not yours. Most of those people are jealous of something, or they're unhappy with their life, so, and they take it out on you somehow, and that's, like I said, that's just nothing to do with you. So I let that one go. Let's see, I've had a fear of opening up. I've always been a pretty private person, and it's been hard to show my vulnerabilities and my struggles. But there again, I've found that most people appreciate that. And I've gotten tons of messages just saying, thanks, I never knew that, or I feel the same way, and I'm glad that you have, you know, the guts to share that. And I think it's helped people just realize that it's okay to have struggles and to have things that you've done that you're not proud of, and that you're always just trying to be the best you can. I I think that is, well, definitely a way that I've grown, is to be able to just share that. And I've connected with a lot of people that I didn't know that about them. So it's worked both ways, and it's helped me as a person, it's helped me as a coach, and it's helped my confidence level just to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I struggle with, and this is how I overcome. And if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. So let's see, what else do I have here? Yes, I have quite a list. Like even as far as my family, I've had a fear of looking like a failure to them because I've tried a lot of different things. I've been a Mary Kay consultant. I've been Tastefully Simple, Park Lane Jewelry, and I've lost money on all of them. And in my eyes, I've failed miserably at them. And I've also had a lot of careers or jobs over the years. And so I have it in my head that my family thinks, oh, here she goes again, trying something new, and she won't follow through. So that was something that held me back. But I just know in my heart that this is not the case this time. And it took me probably trying all those different things to know how much I love this and how passionate I am about this. I like my day job. I like what I do. I love the people I work with, but I'm not passionate about sales tax and locating underground facilities. I am passionate about helping people, and I will do this full time, but on part-time hours. And I've had a fear of, not being successful enough to be able to do that. And I've let go of that fear as well, because now I know that I can do it. And it may not happen overnight, but I'm enjoying the ride along the way. So I'm going to be patient and work hard and let it happen. And I do that through consistency. I do that through personal development every day. And, I know I keep preaching that, and it does sound like I'm preaching it sometimes, but that's just because of how passionate I am about it. I truly, truly believe that it's key. And it's key not only as a coach, but as a person, because the minute we stop working on ourselves is the minute we stop growing. And I think we always have room to grow and improve and feel better and more confident about ourselves. I think that's what's really important in life, is to have big dreams, have big goals, and go for them. Why not? Life's too short. So I wanted to just read a little bit of the new book I'm reading. It's another book by an author that had wrote The Champagne Diet, which is like one of my favorite books of all now. This one is called Fearless and Fabulous. So she says, now let's get something straight before we go any further. We all have fears. True fearlessness does not really exist. When I refer to being fearless, I'm talking about recognizing that you have fears, but deciding to move forward anyway. That's a biggie. A fearless and a fabulous woman is someone who recognizes her desires, has the confidence to chase her dreams, and believes that everything is possible. She does not believe in the word failure. She redefines it. To the fearless and the fabulous woman, a failure is just a signal that she needs to change her course and try a new way of doing something. She thinks positively, takes consistent action towards her goals, and never gives up. Nothing makes me sadder than seeing a woman with boundless talent and aspirations who has let fear take the wheel. There are far too many people out there who are stifling their own success because they are afraid to make the first move. Can you imagine what an amazing world this would be if we all fearlessly stepped into our full potential? So, what a great message. I think I had said that the other day, but be okay with being afraid. You should have fears, and you should feel afraid of things, but be more afraid of what happens if you don't conquer them, if you don't push through anyway. And to just leave you with a few things that I've heard from other coaches. Turn your mess into your message. Turn your scars into stars. And even what you get for no's are just not right no's. Thanks, guys.